Hey there, welcome to the video. Now, if you're thinking about jumping into low or medium content books in 2025, listen up, because some of those niches that were cash cows back in 2019 are now a total waste of time. In this video, I'm going to be revealing the KDP niches that you need to stay away from if you want to make money in 2025, plus the smart strategies to focus on instead. Now, if you're new here, my name is Jeff, and I've been self-publishing on KDP since 2019. Over that time, I published over 2,000 books and generated over 6 figures in royalties. My goal is to help you become self-sufficient when it comes to making money online. So if this sounds like you, feel free to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I release a new video. With that being said, let's get right to it. Now, the first niche to stay away from is the funny journal. Now, back in 2019, when I first started, you could create these funny journals, basically blank journals with funny sayings on the front, and it could sell very, very well. You could make a full-time business just making a lot, hundreds and thousands of these types of journals. However, it's not really gonna work in 2025. So if we go through some of the data here, first of all, we're gonna see over 20,000 results for funny journal. It's always gonna be a little bit saturated, even in the most specific niches. Now, you can still sell a few here or there. So if you already have a bunch of these books in your library, well, some of these books will continue to sell, but they're not gonna be your top sellers. Now, niche score of 8, and to be exact, 25,000 total results for funny journal. Now, one of the problems with this niche, especially with the new Amazon pricing change, you can't really justify a $9.99 price tag. Usually these are priced at $6.99, $7.99 and lower. But when you get lower than $6.99, you're not really gonna have any more profits. If we go here to Amazon's printing cost and royalty calculator, if we go and fill out all the details, this is going to be basically paperback, black and white interior with white paper. And we do a, let's say, 6x9-inch journal, which is a standard size journal. And we do a page count of, let's say, 100 pages. And then we do a list price of, let's say, $6.99. We hit submit. We're gonna see that the royalty rate has been slashed to 50% from the prior 60%, and the estimated royalty is $1.20. These books are very easy to make, so maybe $1.20 is okay with you, but most books are priced at $6.99. So let's go $5.99, and you see your estimated royalty is 70 cents. Now, if we go price it at $7.99, which is usually what I price my journals at, we're gonna see $1.70. But if we go to $9.99, where we can still get the 60% royalty, we're gonna see $3.69. You can't really justify a blank journal for $9.99. So you're really gonna have to stick with a lower price and those lower royalties. Now, if we look at some of these books, we're gonna see that this is a very competitive niche. We're gonna have a lot of these big publishers here, but if we go ahead and do this where we sort by newest arrivals, we're gonna see that it's loaded with all these types of books with very low quality covers. And just at a glance, looking at these covers, they are not very good covers. Obviously, you can make a really good cover and try to sell your book, but you're gonna fight with all of these other factors. Look at this one right here. It's not even centered. Now, the next niche to stay away from is the mandala coloring book. More specifically, the generic mandala coloring book. Total results, very competitive at 13,362. Now, these books are very easy to make. There are programs out there that can make you a full mandala coloring book in just a couple clicks. And that is the problem that you're gonna see with this niche, is because everyone can do that. Everyone can put a mandala coloring book up and put a nice cover. So if we sort this by newest arrivals just to see what these people are putting up, we're gonna see there's all types of mandala coloring books. We have an ABC mandala coloring book with a very low quality cover. Now, if I go ahead and use the zoom feature here on Amazon, you can see just how low quality this cover is. And if we go ahead and read the sample, let's go ahead and look at the actual mandalas. There are none in there. So that's the other issue, that people that are looking for this type of book, they're not gonna see the interiors unless you have A+ content. This book doesn't have A+ content. So this book is not really gonna stand a chance to get any sales because there's really nothing going for it, and priced at $8.99. only 27 pages. So who's really gonna pay $8.99 for only 27 pages? Now, the next niche to stay away from if you want to make money on Amazon KDP is going to be the generic word search book. Now we see a niche score of 33. So Titans QuickView says this is not really a great niche to go into, and almost 30,000 results. So that's, think about 30,000 other books that you have to compete with for a word search book. Now we're going to find really high performing books here, obviously, but you're going to fight with a lot of big publishers because they do a lot of word search books. They can print it at a lower cost. They can provide more word searches per book. So basically more activities per book than a KDP publisher can. Now you could niche down and do a more specific type of word search book, focus on topics, things like decades, things like sports, food. But if you're not going to focus on that and you're just going to do generic word search books, it's going to be really hard to rank, and it's going to be really hard to be seen and to be sold. If we go here and sort this by the newest arrivals, we're going to see over 50,000 books show up for newest arrivals. So you can see how many people are actually putting up word searches. And just look at this one right here, Florida Beaches word search puzzle book. Okay, its niche down topic is on Florida beaches. But look at that cover. It's a picture of the beach. We don't even know where this person got this picture from, if they took this picture themselves or if they got it online. And it's not centered. It's some plain font. There's no example of a word search in the beginning. Really, who's going to buy this type of book? So if we go ahead and read the sample, the interior might be great, but if your cover is not going to be good, who's going to buy your book? And very simple types of puzzles. Puzzle number 4, number 5, all based off of beaches. And so this book is really not going to make any sales whatsoever. I don't even think it's going to make one sale, to be honest. Now, the next book to stay away from in 2025 if you want to make money is the sketchbook. Now, back in 2019, you could put up blank sketchbooks and make a lot of money. All you had to do was put up a nice cover. But with all of the printing cost changes and the royalty changes, you really can't even sell these books at a low cost anymore. Keep in mind, these are blank pages. So you're going to run through a lot of these big publishers that are putting up way better sketchbooks with higher quality. The paper quality is better, and you're just going to have a hard time ranking well and even getting good reviews versus these other publishers that are selling at the same price or even lower. And if I just do a search for funny sketchbook, we can see, for example, this one, blank 120 pages, funny artist sketchbook. It sold maybe one time, has one review. This was back in 2019 with a basic cover, and that one sold one time. This one sold maybe one time, $6.99, but you're not gonna get a best-selling book. You're not gonna get consistent sales. A lot of the times your book is just gonna be passed over. This is not a niche to focus on if you wanna make money on Amazon KDP in 2025. Now, the next niche to stay away from if you wanna make money on Amazon KDP is gonna be the maze book. Now, back in 2019, you could make maze books for days and it would sell because there wasn't a lot of people making maze books. Now we see over 8,000 results. Still has a good niche score from Titans QuickView. But the issue that you're going to run into with maze books is that people have access to these programs that can make maze books in literally a couple clicks. On top of that, you're going to have to deal with these big publishers that are able to create higher quality mazes at a lower price. So for example, this is from a publisher, a big publisher. This is priced at $8.44, ranked at 701. If we go ahead and look at the newest arrivals, we're going to see over 3,000 books, and we're going to see very low quality books that are saturating the market. If we go ahead and just take a look at a random one, let's go ahead and look at this one right here, Maze Book for Kids. If we can see the sample, we can see the interior of these mazes. Obviously, that's going to be hard to do, but maybe here's one right here. It's a maze, there's a rabbit inside, and maybe this is what the interiors look like. The other issue with these books is that a lot of these programs, they make generic type of mazes, and you really have to create high quality types of activity books these days to actually sell very well. So why do these niches no longer work? Well, number one is the obvious: increased competition. Now, back in 2019, when I first started KDP, there were fewer publishers. It was easier to rank for broad niches, and KDP was really like the Wild West. Fewer publishers meant that there was less competition, so you could upload a basic journal, blank journal, and still rank on page one, making those sales. However, by 2025, millions of books have flooded the platform, with niches like adult coloring books showing over 70,000 search results, making it nearly impossible to get noticed without any type of marketing or Amazon ads. So you really have to focus on hyper specific niches with low competition. So think 1,000 search results or less, and a strong demand with the bestsellers rank on average of 300,000 or less. The next is Amazon's algorithm, which has evolved big time since 2019, where it was easier to game the system with keyword stuffed titles and low effort books. Amazon now prioritizes quality, relevance, and customer satisfaction, so low effort books with repetitive content are often deprioritized or flagged, and it reduces their visibility. Amazon also tracks metrics like click-through rates, conversion rates, and reviews. If your generic planner has a boring cover and no sales traction, it's going to stink. It's gonna sink and stink. Plus, Amazon's cracking down on duplicate or near identical listings, so those 50 variations that you're making of that same notebook, it's not gonna cut it anymore. Next is consumer preferences. So buyers have gotten pickier. In 2019, people were happy grabbing $5 generic notebooks or coloring books, but buyers in 2025, they want more. They want specialized, high-value books over generic options. So niches tied to wellness, education, or specific hobbies like gratitude journals or math workbooks, they'll outperform these broad categories. So if your book isn't speaking to a specific audience, it's just gonna get skipped. The next is AI and automation, which have been a double-edged sword for KDP. In 2019, creating books took more manual effort, which kept competition lower. But by 2025, tools like BookBolt, Canva, and even AI content generators let anyone whip up a journal or a puzzle book in just minutes. This has flooded the market with low-quality cookie-cutter books, especially in niches like word searches or sketchbooks. These AI tools have lowered barriers to entry, flooding the market with low-quality books. However, if you use AI tools and you still create high-quality books, well-researched with niche-specific topics, that book can still succeed. So what are my recommendations? So number one is to niche down. Target specific sub-niches with long-tail keywords. Think vegan meal planner for beginners instead of just meal planner. And use tools that are available to you like BookBolt or Publisher Rocket for research. Number two, focus on quality. Invest in professional cover designs. Use tools like Canva or Creative Fabrica to create these unique interiors that stand out. Next, leverage medium content. Low content is getting harder and harder to do, but medium content books, things like workbooks, guided journals, or books with just more words, offer better return on investment due to higher perceived value and less competition. Next, run ads. Organic sales still happen, but they are harder in 2025, so consider running Amazon ads to boost your book's visibility, especially for competitive niches like coloring books. And then lastly, validate demand. You want to check Amazon search results, always aim for that 1,000 or so search results and that demand of a bestseller's rank on average of 300,000 or less to ensure that a niche has demand but isn't oversaturated. So we come to the question, what niches still work in 2025? Well, that will be on a different video. So if you want to see that video, make sure to leave a comment letting me know. And if this video helped, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss more KDP tips. Also, check out my free KDP royalty roadmap for help getting started with KDP. With that being said, thanks for watching. Bye for now.